think we may be live. Let's see if we've got audio this morning, or we've got multiple audios. We are all good. Nice fast start this morning, that's always good. Awesome. So when we finished off yesterday, we were still working on this page. Just noticed that. Let's just bump that up a little bit. There we go, and centre that. So when we left yesterday, we were working on this page for, I'm going to call this company Expert Plumbing Services. Love it, brilliant. And then we've got Expert Plumbing Services in the headline. I read that actually the other day in this book that I've got on my desk, which is pretty good, called Damn Good Advice by George Lewis. So yeah, pretty good. And we worked down the design and we added in this kind of intro section where we're giving a bit more context about what the business is about, what they offer and their position. And we added almost like a very brief, complete list of services. So ideally, we want to keep these to maximum 2 sentences when someone's actually going to fill out and use this website. I'll just turn my grid off. And we were also working in grayscale, but we've put some images in just to kind of bring it to life. So working in grayscale because sometimes working with colour and images like this sometimes trick you into thinking your design is really good when it's actually a bit rubbish. So we can turn them images off. We can just hide them over here in the layers sidebar. But we'll keep them on. Why not? I haven't even looked at the positioning of these images yet. So maybe they should be, maybe they're perfect. Maybe they should be up a little bit. Maybe they should be down a little bit. I don't know. For now though, we'll just leave them there. So I think we just need to keep working through and see what we can come up with. Just in case, I'm going to add a very short line of text here. And I can put something in here, something like, here is a brief, how do you spell brief? No, it's got to be I first, right? Brief list of how we can help you or your business. You. Awesome. And then I'm going to use this setting at the side here. And that is just called auto width. You can see there, auto height and fixed size. So we've got a fixed size for this text element, but actually just want that on auto width. And then I'm just going to center it. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of line height underneath there. Boom. Brilliant. I don't know what we're going to do with this. I don't know if we're going to kind of continue that down so it just keeps kind of repeating like that. Maybe I'll keep it there for now and then it just gives us something to come back to. And I'm also just going to make this artboard even bigger. So reliably serving Yorkshire. We said we're going to change that to South Yorkshire. Reliably serving South Yorkshire since 2013. That's almost like the title to an About Us section. Do I want that on the home page? This is where, when you're making a website for a made-up client, it kind of gets hard because it's very much horses for courses. I might have to get some more water. So So yeah, we'll maybe do an About Us section. We'll have to see. Servicing, repairs and pipework. It's hard to remember what you were thinking yesterday. Obviously thinking about another introduction into other services or something like that. Or maybe we could do a breakdown and go into a bit more depth about some of these main services that we offer as a company, Expert Plumbing Services. Pipework, servicing, repairs, boilers. Okay, so we could do something like servicing, repairs, pipework, and boilers, and then kind of where would I want that? I don't want this page to be too long, but maybe what we'll do is we'll turn our grid back on, make this a bit wider. Definitely don't want it like that, so I'm just going to come in one column. I don't like one line. I don't really want it like that either, but we'll go with that for now. I want to make sure that I've got some nice space in like having this element. So this one has 159 pixels worth of space. That's got 84, so I'm just going to not do that. I'm just going to move this down over there so it looks similar. Yeah, that'll do. Just going to move you down as well. Goodbye. And then we can start to look at maybe using something similar to this, so we can almost pick this up. And this is maybe where these numbers will come in again. We'll have to see where have we got that line. So we're actually missing. So we've got like an odd alignment thing going on there, which looks actually quite like that. So we could use that style down further down. So since we missed this column here for the text, we could miss this over here for something else and align things that way. So we could do something like that. So yeah, so maybe to start off with, we'll keep this aligned here. I want to make this smaller, so I'm going to create, we've already got H3 style, we've got that here. So I'm going to save this as a H3 style. So all I'm going to do is just click create style. I'm going to type in desktop, so it categorizes it as a desktop font style, and just do /H3. And then I should have done it on that one because that's my master component. So I'm actually just going to change that, which will update all the other things now. Great. And then here we can do the same thing. So we can change that from H2 to H3. I don't know if it's going to be too small or not, but we'll see. So servicing. And then we've got some text. And then maybe we'll have a kind of a bigger image for this. So I'm going to get rid of the image. It's not a bad amount of text. Try and work quite quickly here, just to maybe try and pull something together. And then what I want to do, if I copy that down, is now reverse it. So I'm going to group, actually, let's, so I'm going to group these two, and then keep that, and then select it all, pull it down. In fact, we're going to make this, we're going to change it from a group. Sorry, that's me being a bit daft. I could just ungroup. I just pressed undo a load of times, so I'm just checking I haven't done anything stupid. So I'm going to select both of them, make it into a component. And now if I change anything in this, it's going to update all of them. So I don't have to worry too much about the style to start with. Although this is huge, so I'm just going to bring that in to there. And now we've got this massive width of this component. When I want it like that. Perfect. When you update the width for component, it relatively updates all the other items inside the component. Something like that. I think that maybe just needs to overhang, and this needs to overhang a bit. So it's kind of like that, and then we can actually center align these things together. So they've got an equal amount of space at the top and at the bottom. And that'll do us for now. And then what I want to do is copy this down. And then I want to see if this is going to work. So I actually want to move. Let's use this, because then we know we're keeping it in the same line. I want to move this all the way to there. Then I want to select this element. I want to move it the other way to here. So we've got a little bit of an offset kind of design going on, which looks pretty cool actually. We just need more. We just need more height. Oop, wrong one. I think we need something like that. Cool, I'm liking that. I don't know what we're going to do for a background. Yeah, I haven't worked that out. I think it's going to be white, or it's maybe going to be patterned. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Might have some. Yeah, I need to work it out. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Maybe we could have some like horizontal card type layouts. So I'll do like a quick example of that. So we can kind of put it all in a box, put that to the back, so the box is behind it. Make sure the image, I mean we haven't got an image there. And then we turn off the fill, which is the fill colour, but first turn on a stroke, so you've got some sort of bounding box like that. And then you could do something like add a shadow, a drop shadow like that, and it makes it stand out from the page. You can't really tell that much because it looks a bit rubbish, but if we turn the effect of the shadow up, it should be more more clear what's actually going on. So if we just do that and then turn the, makes it quite hard to actually see that. So now you can see it, but the big blur behind it, it's making it kind of pop off the page. Certainly don't use a blur like that though, because that is rubbish. Awesome. I'm just going to delete that for now, because I actually quite like it just kind of floating like that. So we'll see kind of where that takes us. All I'm going to do is really quickly, I'm just going to copy them down again. So we've got, I released Alt too quickly then. And then we've got another section built, which is pretty good. I'm going to make sure that this text here is behind everything else. Whoop. Not behind absolutely everything else. It's actually not on this artboard. I think that's this artboard. Here it is. There we go. So the image is going to fall on over that really light text. Now, for this section, I'm thinking something a little bit different. I'm thinking we can use something similar to this. And I'm just going to check how we do for time. Yep, that seems to work. Just going to make sure that this camera's not going to turn off. Magic. And what I fancy doing is grabbing an image. And if this company's been established for a while, I'm going to pretend that they've got 10 employees. Might be a family-run business. I want to show that off. That they're hard-working, Doncaster people. Yeah. My OCD kicking in a bit here. Great. Then I want to drag you down, put you back on top. I'm going to turn you white. And then I'm just checking the space in here, kind of, we've got a lot of space in there. So we need some more space in between all these elements here. That's fine. And just move you down a bit. Just make a bit of room for them while we're there. And then this is gonna be, I'm actually gonna take something we've done already. This here, I'm just gonna copy that. Has that got the text style on? No, it hasn't. So it needs to be H2. Let's just pop that. So we're going to copy that. And that is actually just what I want to use in here. Like that. And if we group these sections together, is this the right size? No, I remember we changed things from 18 to 20 and whatever. Are these the right size? 18, yeah. What was the font? What was the text? Reliably serving South Yorkshire since 2013. Zoom in a bit. South Yorkshire since 2013. And maybe I'll do that. So remember, if you ever want to lock anything, it's just right click and lock. You can't see because of my head. It's there, look, lock. I'll show you up here. Maybe. There we go, lock. So we'll lock that, just so we can get this kind of sorted while we're dragging things around. I just want it, yeah, I just want it like that. That's good, like that. Like that. Magic. Yeah, great. So what I'm actually going to do with these though is I'm have them both white. That's wrong. Should be FFF. So I'm going to have them both white, and then this locked element, which I'm going to unlock, is going to have pixels. Oh, first time. Great. Just type in staff. Just want like a company shot. It's not cheesy. So ideally something like this, just for plumbers. And we're definitely not going to be able to find anything really quickly. So at the top we added this overlay just to make it stand out. So I'm just going to grab that and just add that here. And then I'm going to send it to front. And then put it behind the text layers. And then just move it so it's the same size as the image. And then if at any point I'm not happy with kind of how it looks, I'll just make changes to it. So maybe I want to add a little bit more opacity. So you could do it like that. Or we could reduce the opacity maybe to, I think it was 421, and then just make the font a little bit more bold. But I do think in this case, actually, we need to, that needs to be something like that. And then it can be in bold. That's absolutely fine. And go for look man. Field engineer. It's networking, but it kind of does what I want it to do. That's an equally nice shot. Is that on fire? Oh no, it's just sparks. Maybe we don't want to show sparks flying out everywhere. So we'll just go back to that, or that. This one. Cool, great. So we've got a couple more sections built there, quite quick, I think. 22 minutes we're on. So to finish this bad boy off, I think we need a contact form, a contact us section, and a footer. Yeah, so let's steal you, change back to 42, 42, 42, make this text medium. So really, we could set up a style for the text as well. So then instead of just changing things back manually, but we'll maybe double back to the text at some point to kind of really dial in on the sizes that we want to use and the styles that we want to use as well. We won't change the font family, the font itself, but we'll look at kind of what we want to do. Another thing that we could add to this section here is, we said we were going to really look at these little numbers. Turn that off and kind of see what we're doing that line, because sort of missed that line thing there. So you can see now when I pop it in one, it goes in the one beneath it as well, which is a really cool thing about this. And maybe, what size is that? So maybe we could change that to H3. And then we could grab a line, which just press L on the keyboard, and you just literally draw a line down. That's 90 degrees. Make it a bit thicker. How thick do we want it? Probably not that thick, but we'll go with it anyway. It's a little bit different. And what I'm thinking is we could actually kind of do something like that. Just don't know if these are in line, so I'm going to use a guide tell me if they are. No, they're not. Now they are. Perfect. I think that might look a bit silly, but it's kind of capturing the idea that I had. And sometimes you just got to get through the silliness to really work it out. Yeah, so that looks like totally daft. This is too far out, this is too thick. But if we change that to say 2, and then we make this something like that, kind of got a little something going on there. And then maybe we could just add a little bit of transparency to that. I don't know. And then you can do overrides on these other ones. So that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. And you can override the other ones without affecting the original. So servicing, just add some different text in here just to see if it makes sense. Repairs, pipe work, boiler installation. Okay, and then on this, instead of changing that one, I'm going to come back to the original element and just widen that up. And maybe I do actually want it to be the full width, because then I know whatever I put here is never going to span down onto 2 lines. Okay, I don't know what I think about that, but I'm just going to keep moving down and then come back to it and see if I like it, see if I don't like it, blah blah blah. Great, so I said, what have we got for our main call to action? Call us now for a quote. Right, I'm going to keep this really generic to start with, and I'm just going to say contact us, and then we'll kind of work out what we actually want it to say afterwards. Again, just let it have a sentence beneath it like that, and maybe a bit more spacing. Great. Just want to see if these, did we center them inside that? Can't remember if we did. Don't think we did. So when you're designing, you'll kind of just notice things and you'll move back and forwards throughout the design just to kind of change, tweak, touch, and just end up with something that's kind of works. So I'm just going to do a series of rectangles here. So we're going to do one for name, one for phone number, one for email address, and then one for the actual message they want to send, and then one for the button that they're going to use to fill it in. But actually, because these two here are just going to be one line, like the name, I'm just going to get rid of them. That's how it's going to end up. I'm just going to get rid of them, make this into a component, and then just copy and paste it. So I want to turn off the fill, but turn on the stroke. So I'll turn on the stroke first. I want to use maybe, in fact, we're going to go to the old trusty 42, 42, 42. That's inside. It doesn't really matter if the line is inside, on the outside of the box, or in the center. I think I'll just move it to center just why not? And then I want to turn the fill off. So we've just got a box like that. And then, what do I want to do? Do I want to increase the width of that line slightly? Maybe. And then I don't want it black because it's too harsh. So I'm going to change it to 40% opacity. So we've got another variation of our main colour, 42, 42, 42. Our main grey to start with anyway. And then I'm going to centre it and I'm going to grab some text and I'm going to type in some example data. So we'll do, everyone loves Bill Gates at the minute, don't they? So Bill Gates. And I'm just going to change that so it's only a little box. So Bill Gates, and then I just want to slightly change the height of this. You can see there, that's a huge width in that, and it probably doesn't need to be. So just change it to that. I actually don't like designing contact forms, but we should practice what we don't like, right, and get better at it. That's what Michael Jordan would say. I'm trying to remember what that footballer's called. Adi. So it's always good to test it with long names as well. Adi Bio. Is it Akin Fenway? Adebayo Akin Fenway, something like that. Yeah, so we know that we've got enough space there. We'll leave a nod to a great footballer in there. Magic. So how are we doing for time? 32 minutes. Get this done and we will get off. Great. Shall we make it bold? I don't know. So I'm going to create that as a component. Boop. Actually, we might use the grey. We might use the grey for this. What have we got? 42, 20%. Quite dark, that. Just going to change it down to 10. And then, now we've got that, I can just... So that's going to be name, email is going to be Adebayo at Adebayo a, making up a fake email address. Can you see how the elements change? So what we want to do is we want to make it left aligned. I'm going to do that on the master component as well, so everything else is left aligned. Let's just put at example.com. So nifty little @ sign in Poppins. A phone number 07586 951357. There we go. And then your message, sir. Can we? So you can see again that this is moving down. I don't really want that to happen. So what I need to do is on this original one, I need to add a constraint. So at the moment it's going to scale. So as I make the box bigger, it's going to move down with it. So I want to lock it to the top and lock it to the left. And then you can see we can move the box without affecting the positioning of the element inside it. Now we've got that. That's maybe the best contact form I've ever made. We're going to grab this button style. Is it grouped? No. I think it is grouped. Let's just take that. We'll move it outside of the original group that it's in. Ryan's here. Here he is.
Hello.
So we're going to move this down there, onto there. And I'm going to change the text to send. And again, we've got the same issue. We want this center aligned, centered, and then send your message like that. So we've used some kind of curvy, use a little bit of border radius on these. So maybe we could do the same thing on these, turn them to 8. And we only need to update the master. I've just updated the wrong thing, that's all. So change that back to 0. We jump in and select the rectangle. We can then change this to 8 here. And you can see it's starting to change that border. Don't know if I actually want to do that or not, but that's not too bad. Looking too shabby. I don't know if I'm actually going to leave that like that, but we'll see. I'm just going to grab that grey, which isn't going to be a grey, it's going to be a different colour. So I think for today we're going to leave it there. How much time are we on? Yeah, 37 minutes, let's leave it there. So we've got done this section here. Which is going to show off in a bit more detail the core services of the business. Then we've got an About Us section, then we've got a Contact Us section as well. But maybe what we might do is, we might take this and move it above our services. And then we can give them the core services and we can show them all the other services that they do, not including repairs, servicing, boilers and pipework, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense. So all them other mini things that people don't ask for often, but they actually do provide. So hope this has been useful, and we'll be back again tomorrow.